Hey, it's Jen from Not So Mystical Tarot. Today we're going to do a reading that encompasses all of the signs. I will timestamp them in the description. If you would like to watch your moon and rising signs, I do suggest that because it's a general reading, so it might make things a bit more clear for you. At the bottom of the description, I will put a link to a place where you can input your information and get your natal chart for free. So at least you can see where your moon sign falls, where your rising sign, you can watch your Venus sign, whatever you want to do. As deep as you want to go, you can go there. You can find me on Instagram at Not So Mystical Tarot or at notsomysticaltarot.com if you'd like a personal or a private reading. Otherwise, let's just get started. We're going to start out with Aries and see what do we have going on mid-August heading to September. For Aries, we have got the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords. When I see this Queen of Cups, especially from this deck, if you look, I don't ever really see her as looking super content. The Queen of Cups is incredibly nurturing. She's very loving. She's kind of like that mom that always has cookies ready, and if you get hurt, you would want to run to her. The thing with the Queen of Cups is she spends a lot of time being everything to everyone all the time, and it's exhausting. And sometimes I even say she's kind of like the martyr because of that, because she's just the perfect, little Italian grandmother. She does all the stuff she's supposed to do for everyone, but neglects to take care of herself and the things she wants to do. You're being invited here, Aries, by the Page of Swords to think a little bit differently. Swords are about thinking, and the pages are always messengers. So you're getting a message to maybe it's time to think a little bit differently. Maybe you've been overextending yourself just a bit, and it's time to find a way. Often I'll say with this combination, it's time to look to incorporate some self-care. You're getting a message from your rational mind to say, hey, wake up. I almost think sometimes you could be neglecting yourself. This could also be that you settling for a relationship where you do everything and this person doesn't contribute as much. You have to do some rational thinking and decide if, if that's something that is for you. Okay, these cards flew everywhere, but there's one that stayed upside right. Yeah, okay. And that was the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is coming from a place of abundance. So if it is a relationship, I feel like you have enough going for you that speaking your mind alone may be enough to reorient that, because it does talk about still continuing in abundance, but you see the scales here. So you still can have that love to give, but it does have to be balanced out where you're both participating. So I don't often go into like a lot of relationship things, but this does feel that way. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be even something like a work colleague. It could be a family relationship, a sibling, anything like that. But it does seem like there's some sort of unevenness, and you're being asked to take a long, hard look at that and determine what's better for you moving forward. And we're going to move on to Taurus. What do we have for Taurus mid-August to September? We've got the Six of Swords and the Star. Well, Taurus, this is an awful lot. You're an earth sign, so a lot of times most Taurus people really feel best when they are grounded, when they are stable, when they know where they're going and what they're doing and how they're going to get there. But I really feel like you're being asked to kind of look at where you are and determine, is this where you want to go? You have the Star, and the Star is about your big dreams, like the dreams, like when somebody would ask you, if you could be anything in the world, what would you be? That's kind of the energy that you get with the Star card. It's also the card that is the sign for Aquarius, and Aquarians are up in their head. They are an air sign, which the swords are the air signs. It's all kind of tied together. You're being asked to move out of your earthbound sort of feel, and you're being asked to use this part of you that's a little more up in your head to really determine, am I where I want to be? Am I happy where I am? Do I want more? I do feel like here you will find the answer is that you do want a little bit more than what you have. It doesn't mean that what you have is bad. Okay, we're still throwing cards. It doesn't mean that what you have is bad. It just means that maybe what you have is a great foundation, but is it time to move on and move up towards something else? I'm going to get a card to clarify. Ooh, to clarify here. And we've got, let me just fix these. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, and she is the Queen of Earth. She is not earthbound. I hate to use that phrase, but she is extremely, she's well organized. She runs her home. If she works, she runs her business in a certain way. She can always be counted on. And that's the thing, is that the basis of all of this, you don't have to forsake who you are deep down inside. You don't have to forsake the earth part of you, the part of you that requires some sort of logical steps to get to a certain place. You don't have to just forsake that and take off and be someone that you're not, but you really are being asked to evaluate where you are right now, and if it's where you want to stay or if it's time to move on. And when you see that Six of Swords, it doesn't mean you have to move on. Let me find it here. If you'll notice, this person's not alone. They've got people with them, so they're not moving on alone. It doesn't mean you have to just up and leave everything you know, but it could just mean that it's time for you to move in a different direction. And you don't have to do it alone, but it is time to make some different choices. So I'm interested to hear what that means for you. And also, like I said, watch your moon and rising sign, because it will probably really help you to delineate what it is we're talking about. We're going to move on to our Geminis. What do we have for Gemini? Okay, we've got the Six of Swords. So you watched me shuffle, right? Six of Swords and the Seven of Cups. A lot of times you will see that if you watch these straight through. Some people do. They like to see all the signs because of everybody they know or whatever. When you see these come up like this, you'll see a lot of the same energy repeated, and it's just reinforcing that message. And we could have, this came up for Taurus, so we could have somebody who's a Taurus who has a rising or moon sign that's a Gemini. So either way, this is an underlying energy. We call them stalker cards. It's kind of, it's a pervasive feel, but this is saying it's time to really, being a Gemini, you're an air sign. So you're comfortable here in the Swords, and Swords are about your thoughts, the way that you view things. And it's kind of time to, I want to say, when I see the Seven of Cups, it's a little bit of time to clear the clutter. I almost feel like maybe you've let in a whole bunch of different things. Maybe you have kind of extended yourself in a number of different areas, and some of them are really paying off and are really fulfilling, and other ones are like, they're not your jam. And if that's the case, it's time to get a little bit choosy, kind of say, okay, well, you know what, like, I really like this and I really like that, and I'm enjoying this, but this I could take or leave this. I'm not going to hang on to this. So you don't have to do all of these things. You might be interested in a lot of things, but right now the universe is just kind of saying to you, hey, you know what, let's move away from kind of all this mess and all of this stuff, and really focus on the things that bring you a lot of joy, the things that make you really happy. What are those things? Let's look at those. And here we have the Ace of Swords, Gemini. You are the Swords because you're an air sign. So with this Ace of Swords, it's just saying this is an opportunity, like we said here, for you to really use your brain. This is about engaging your intellect to kind of sort out your emotional life. Like I said, you might have gotten yourself involved in a whole bunch of really cool things, but not all of them are super fulfilling. So use your intellectual side of your brain to help you kind of move away from the things that just cause clutter and confusion, and focus in really tightly on the things that you're finding bring you a lot of personal fulfillment and joy. So it's just time to clean up the clutter a little bit. Geminis. All right, we're going to move on to Cancer. What do we have for our Cancers? All right, Cancer, we have the Star and the Ten of Cups. Who got this? Aries Aries, I don't know, somebody else got this star, and I was just talking about this with the Geminis. If you are somebody who watches these videos all the way through, and a lot of people do because they have their husband, their kids, their friends, their sister, their mother, whatever, they know everybody's signs, so sometimes they watch all of them. If that's the case, when you see these cards, because the Six of Swords has come up also, we call them stalker cards, and that kind of gives you the idea of the underlying, the pervasive energy. The star card is the stuff that if somebody says to you, you know, if you could be anything in the whole world, what would you be? That's the thought process of the star card. The star card is also represents the Aquarians, and the Aquarians are really about, they're in their own land. You know, they want to do what they want to do, and they're up in their head, and good luck finding them. I'm one of them, so I can say these things. But this kind of invites you, Cancer, to bring in that Aquarian energy, that intellectual energy, that to get kind of out of your heart so much and kind of get up into your head a little bit, not to be led quite so much by your emotions, but more by your dreams. And dreams and emotions are not the same thing. It does say here, you've got the Ten of Cups. What's really important to you is the way that you feel about things, the way that your relationships meld together. So at this time, kind of look and say, you know, is this what I really want? Is this happening the way I want it to happen? Do I have this? Is it real? Is it something that's accessible for me, or is it something I think, oh, I'd love to have that? Are you living this, or are you dreaming this? That's kind of what we're asking, and we're going to get a card to clarify, sort of see what else we can say with this. And you get the Ten of Cups again. Okay, so it does say this is, you know, in Cancer, cups are your energy, emotions, and love, and family. This says this is what's really, truly important to you, is your family. Is there a way that you can make your big dreams mesh in with this other dream that you have of emotional fulfillment and in your family time, your relationships? Can you make all of this work? And I think this is what we're asking is, or what the universe is asking you, is to determine, how do you get these big dreams to be part of this? How do you get this to all meld together? And you're being called to kind of sit down in just your thought process and really work on that. What do I need to do differently? What can I ask for? How do I get from where I am to where I want to be, especially when it comes to my relationships and you know, my emotions, and being fulfilled in both of those. Watch your moon and rising on that one. All right, we'll head to our Leos. We have for our Leos, we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Okay, we just keep maybe you should definitely watch your moon and rising signs, and if you are in close relationship with anyone, even best friends or colleagues, watch theirs, because we're getting a lot of the same energy. So I guess it doesn't matter, because you're going to get the same energy through most of this, and that's very common. Leos, you have got the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is really about abundance, and you're very generous anyway. You're very generous, and you're very fiery and passionate, and a lot of times when somebody needs something, you're the first person to say, what do they need? How can I help them? The thing is, you've got this Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords comes in with an immense amount of energy, intellectual energy, and mental agility, and the ability to really discern what is good and what is bad. And what I get from this is that you may be sharing your abundance in a way that is, I don't want to say wasteful, I want to say going to people that either don't really need it, and they're taking advantage, or don't really appreciate it. Like, kind of like, don't squander, not to squander the things that you have, because you have a lot of gifts to give. And this doesn't always mean money. This can be help at work. This can be helping somebody, I don't know, maybe you help your neighbors and you mow their lawn, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. It's any way that you give out of the abundance that you have. That can be time, it can be maybe you let some relative stay in your house and now they won't leave and they've been mooching off you for a year. it can be anything like that. But Leos, you have a tendency when somebody needs something or they need help, you're the first one to say, hey, here you go. What do you need? Let me help you. Well, you know what? Sometimes you need to just stop for a minute and really examine, where are you giving away bits and pieces of you, yourself, your assets? Where are you kind of, I hate to use the word squandering because it's done with a really good heart, but I really feel like that somewhere you may be being taken advantage of, and it's important to look at where you are sharing your abundance. Really come at that from a place of intellectual, not from where your heart is, but or from where you think the right thing to do would be, but from the intellectual part of you that says like, if somebody else was telling me, oh geez, this story, would I listen? Or, would I say, oh my gosh, why are you doing that? So like really think about that. And you have the Chariot card that's come up with this, and the Chariot is very, very fast moving energy, and I think you'll find this interesting. You've got these, I don't know, they're like sphinxes or like, I don't know, some kind of little cat dog things, but you've got these two different animals. They're heading in two different directions, and that's one thing that I do want to caution you on. That's what's, think why we have this Knight of Swords, is because you're so fiery. Very often, and it's Cancer is the sign that's associated with this Chariot, which is very emotional. And so when this Chariot comes, you're like, where can I help? Let me know. This is just saying, please, when that energy comes in, you don't have to do something immediately. Take a moment and really think through where you are offering your help, where you are giving of yourself, because I really feel like there is somewhere that there's someone not necessarily, I don't want to say not being honest with you, but they don't need quite as much help as they're taking. Maybe I'll say it like that. All right, we'll move on to our Virgos. What do we have for Virgo? Ten of Pentacles, Virgo. You love that. And the Hermit. Ah, this is so funny. Okay. It's not funny like haha. It's funny like woo woo. We love some good woo woo. You guys are the Earth signs, and you have the Ten of Pentacles. You are the Earth signs. This is like the pinnacle of success. This is like you've got it all together. You're feeling together, and that's really important for you. And you also have the Hermit, and for the majors, the Hermit is representative of the Virgos. So I feel like you're in your lane. You know where you're going, you know what you're doing. If you aren't already here, you're headed there and you feel really good about it. But the way that you refuel and the way that you stay that way is to still savor this time here. And with the Hermit, you have everything you need inside of you. You don't really need a lot of opinions from a lot of people. They may be well-meaning and they may want to offer them, but your best advice comes from you. And that's always the case. You can take the opinions of other people and like really think about them and kind of put them into your whole thought process, but in the end it's always you that makes the determination. So just remember that. But like I said, I feel like you've kind of found your groove and you're headed to where you're going, and you're in a really good place. Capitalize on that, and don't forget to spend this time, this alone time, to recharge, because you really do need that. Even though you are very generous and kind with your time and caring, don't forget to take the time that you need to yourself to kind of recharge and keep yourself in this place. I'm gonna get it. Oh, here we go. Get the Six of Cups. Isn't this funny? The Six of Cups is saying, hey, don't forget to have some fun too, because Six of Cups is kind of that playful, fun, really just goofy, I don't want to say frivolous, but you might look at it as frivolous, like playing a game. Maybe you like to play a game. Maybe you want to play Scrabble on your phone, or you like to, I don't know, play a game on your phone, or you like to watch a video or do something that other people might see as a waste of time, or that you actually look and go, what a waste of time. But you know what? Between all the work you're doing on yourself and staying in your lane and doing all these things, a little bit of fun is not going to hurt you, and it will actually recharge you and get you on this path so steadfastly. So please make sure to save that time for yourself to kind of recharge and give yourself a little bit of fun. Throw a little fun in there, okay? Okay. All right, we'll head to our Libras. for Libras. Got the Page of Pentacles and the Devil. All right, Libra, air sign, likes to function up here, kind of in your own space. You're being asked to kind of come back down to earth for a second here. You've got the Page of Pentacles. Pentacles are they're governing kind of the earth signs, and Pentacles are your tangible things you can put your hands on, your money, your environment, things at your job, all of the stuff that you can touch, your possessions, your home, all of these things. And you're getting a message. Pages always bring messages to say, hey, let's take it back down to earth for a second here. It's easy to kind of get up into the, I'm an air sign too, so it's easy. You got the Libras, the Aquarians, or in the Geminis. We're all air signs, and we kind of get over here thinking in our mind about all kinds of things. But it is important to come back down to earth, and that's what this page is saying. Hey, hello, back to reality here. Not that you weren't there, but time to kind of check in with the important stuff, because there is something when you see the Devil card. I'll point out real quick. You've got these two people down here, and if you'll notice, they're not chained to anything but each other, yet they're standing here with this guy. They don't have to be there. This is kind of like being in servitude to something you don't need to be in, and oftentimes it refers to addictions, eating too much, drinking too much. It can be using drugs. It can be, not paying your bills, playing video games all the time. It can be anything, but what it's saying is in some way you are distracting yourself from something on the earth plane that needs your attention. So it's time to kind of put those distractions aside. I can see, of course, we've had the lockdowns here. There's people that are home that they're drinking like crazy. They're eating like crazy. They've lost their minds. I'm not saying that that's you guys, but that's just an example. It's just a time to kind of, let's check in with our tangible environment. What does my desk at work look like? What does my office look like? What's my house look like? What do my finances look like? Whoa, am I backsliding here into some habits and behaviors that really are unhealthy for me? Let's check in with that sooner rather than later. You do have the Two of Cups here, and you know what? This is just saying, hey, you know what? Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for a little bit of help. This is not necessarily like a lover's card. This is more like you have somebody in your corner who's like your best friend or a confidant, or somebody who truly just they're like the other half of you, that they're like your heartmate, not soulmate so much, but more like they just get you. That friend that you meet, that in 5 minutes it's like you've been friends forever, and you know that they're good and you trust them. It's that person. It may be wise, if you're really not understanding this, to not only watch your moon and rising signs, but to kind of talk to one of your friends and say, am I a little different lately? And do you see me kind of backsliding into doing some things I shouldn't be doing? And they're going to be like, yeah. But you can take it from them. So really kind of seek the counsel of someone like that that's part of your life. If you are not picking up this feeling, because there's probably an area that needs a little bit of attention. And they also they're the friend that, like, when you say, you know what, I'm not going to eat fast food for a month, they go, okay, I'll do it with you. That's the kind of friend they are. So that's why I'm saying definitely kind of seek their counsel if you feel like you would like some assistance with that, because I think that will really help solidify your journey, out of this. So, all right, Libra. We'll move on to our Scorpios. Scorpio, Ace of Pentacles. What's this one? Oh, and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow, you have a huge opportunity coming up here, Scorpio, for the middle of August, or whenever you're seeing this, because whenever you're seeing it is when it's for you. But the universe is handing you an opportunity here, and not only do they hand you this opportunity, or it becomes available to you, but when you see this Nine of Pentacles, this is like, the Nine of Pentacles is like that place where you've almost really made it to somewhere super successful, and you know it. Almost where you can take a breath and you're like it's that point, if you're running a marathon, it's the last 3/4 mile where you can see the finish line that's kind of where she is. She can see the finish line. She's like, okay, I've worked really, really hard. I can see the finish line. This is just kind of saying to me that either you have been working on something and you're here, or you'll be offered something, and through different things that happen, this is the result of this opportunity, of seizing this opportunity. So I think that it's a really nice uplifting message for the Scorpios. Let's see what we get here. The one thing I do want to say is that you do have to be vigilant. You know, you can't just, this won't just kind of barf out of the sky on you, you know, I mean, except this one. But this does take a lot of work. The Pentacles are founded in the earth, the work that you do, but it's work that you do happily. So let's see what we get, a little bit of insight to kind of go with this. What do we have? Yes, we got this one that keeps flying up. We have the Hangman, and the Hangman is about looking at things in a different way. If you look here, he's not like, you don't see him, he's not like crying, and he's not like, you know, grabbing with his arms to try to free himself. He's just kind of hanging there. And that really just says, you know, when these opportunities come, look at each side of the opportunity. Look at it from a different perspective, because you may be looking at it quickly like, yeah, that's not for me. And especially the Scorpios, you are emotional. You know, your suit is the cups, that's the emotions, and it's very easy to look at something and go, well, I don't like that. Well, I don't want to do that. You know, for whatever weird feel it gives you. And I don't mean like the oogly boogly, like this is bad feeling. I don't mean like when someone says, hey, do you want to be a drug dealer? And you go, well, this is kind of a bad feeling. I don't mean that. I mean, not the ominous feeling, but like well, I just don't do that feeling. More that feeling, more the like, oh, that's just not me. This is just saying, you know, take an opportunity to look at things from every angle and really determine, hey, you know, is this something that I might like to do? And if it is, there's nothing wrong with seizing that opportunity. And, you know, this isn't necessarily something that you have to participate in for the next 30 years, but this may be something that even for the next few months or whatever really is good for you, good for your career, or just good for your bank account. And it might just be something that that you really enjoy. You get a lot out of it. So take a look at every angle of everything that's presented to you before you just go, no, I'm not doing that. It's not me. Kind of just be willing to see all sides of the opportunity when it comes. All right, we'll move to Sagittarius. The 10 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles. Now, this 10 of Cups has been a stalker card throughout a lot of these signs, so watch your moon and rising and see if that shows up for you. I think Cancer got it twice, so I think so. But anyway, Sagittarius, this is something that's super important to you, and I feel like somewhere deep down you feel like you never get it right. You know, and it could be that possibly you have a certain idealism or a certain idealistic thought or idea that this has got to be the way it is, or it's not right, it's not perfect, it's not okay, I'm not like everybody else. You know what? Your particular relationship and family experience doesn't have to be like everybody else. It doesn't have to conform to what everybody else does. However, I do think sometimes you feel really torn because you've got this 3 of Pentacles here. This is planning and working towards goals and building things. So I kind of feel here like you're feeling pretty torn between your family and your actual work, the things that you do, you know, even the things you do with your hands, crafts and things like that. It's very easy to get, I want to say like, where you almost get guilty, like you enjoy doing this stuff, but your family. But I really enjoy, you know, creating this. Oh, but my family. You know, I really want to work in this new area. Oh, but you know, my family. And I think, I don't know why, but I just feel like you have some kind of intense guilt over that. I think what we're saying here is that with the right kind of planning, you can have both. You really can have the happy, well-adjusted family and all of the relationships working well, but as long as you plan that, and I really feel like you need to plan that time for yourself for some kind of something that you, I feel like it's work, but I feel like it's part of your work that you really enjoy. So, and I think that if you don't have the planning and the carving out of the time, it's a constant stress versus something that you really, really enjoy. Let's get a little bit of a card for clarification here. You got the Eight of Swords. Okay. I think this is just something that you stand in your own way, and it's something that you get up in your head about. And with the Eight of Swords, it's about kind of being in a prison that you design. Almost maybe you beat yourself up because you don't have. I don't have the time. I can't make the time. You can make the time. You can make the time and you can take the time, but you can't do everything perfectly all the time. And I think we'll just leave it there, Sagittarius. But you know what? You deserve to take some of that time for you. And I just feel like whatever this Three of Pentacles, I don't feel like this is related to your actual job. I feel like it's related to like work you want to do on yourself, and you feel somehow that it takes away from your family. But in essence, we all know that this person will tell you, oh no, you can't work on yourself because you have to dedicate, any spare time to your family. But what we really know is that when you work on yourself, you have better you to give your family. So I just feel like there's some people that are Sagittarians at this time that are just felt like they're being pulled in two directions, and they want to do everything the right way. And in the midst of all of it, they're saying, I just don't have time to figure this out. But you do. You do have time. And I think that you will figure it out, which is even better, right? All right, we'll move on to Capricorn. We have Capricorns, the Empress and the Six of Cups. Wow. Okay, Capricorn. It looks like you're really working on something. When I see the Empress, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily mean you're bursting forth with the child. Obviously, what I see a lot of times when we see her is that she's in a position to give a gift, kind of herself, and that happens a lot when we're in the right frame of mind. In the frame of mind here, you've got the Six of Cups, which is another one of the stalker cards that's kind of going pervasively through this video, is the Six of Cups. It's about stepping back and doing something that's a little bit fun. It looks like there's something that you want to bring into your life, something that you want to either create or bring into your life that I think will not only facilitate you having some more fun. This could be even like getting a pet. Maybe you want to get a puppy. Maybe you want to get a cat. I don't know. But this is about giving the gift of you and allowing yourself to receive a gift of something that makes you feel joy. It's just that simple. I just think it may be that you have a gift to give that creates joy either for you. Sometimes you know how when you give people stuff you enjoy it even more than when you receive things. It's that kind of thing. So really, I don't know. I just feel like there's some kind. Oh jeez. Oh, they're flying everywhere. Cards are flying everywhere, but I've got one that couldn't get away from me, and that is the Fool. This is something, and I feel like you might be a little bit hesitant. It's something that is different for you. It's something out of the box for you. And it's something, and I don't want to say like it's not juvenile, but it's something that's really fun. I think you are ready for something really fun. Capricorns are one of the hardest working signs, so vigilant, so detail oriented, so, what is the word? What's the word? I can see the word, I can feel the word. What is the word? Meticulous, that's it. So meticulous about everything, and this is saying it's time to kind of step out in a different direction and do something fun. Is there like a hobby that you want to learn, or and it might be frivolous, like maybe you want to learn calligraphy, or you want to like I said, get a puppy, whatever. It could be anything like that, but I really feel like it's time for you to bring forth some kind of something new, different, and fun into your life. So this is your opportunity. Mid-August here, This is the time. Watch your moon and rising signs too, because that may give you a little bit more information about what's going on here. I'll be really curious to hear, but I definitely feel like it's time for you to bring forth some fun, something playful and enjoyable, something that maybe an old hobby you had that you haven't, maybe you want to roller skate. I don't know, something you haven't done in years, but you're like, why am I not doing that? I used to love doing that. It's time. Now's the time for you to do that. All right, we'll move on to Aquarius. Aquarius, that Page of Pentacles, Stalker card coming through all these readings, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, this is funny. I hate to talk about me, but I always end up doing it. I'm in Aquarius, and I have gotten this more than once. In my Instagram, I got this with something else, and it was like, yeah, you've had enough. I think it was this actual combination. It was a few weeks ago, and it was like, okay, when we had that sequel new moon in Cancer, we had the whole self-care thing. You've treated yourself enough. Like, stop. Aquarius, it is time to keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind, in the legendary words of Snoop Dogg. Definitely time to pay attention. You are being asked to stop and just, whoa. And I don't feel this is a bad thing. People say this is the miser card. It's bad. It isn't that. It's just like, hey, you may have some financial decisions coming up that you really need to be smart about. You don't want to just like throw your money out there like, yeah, sure, whatever, who cares? I almost feel like you've gotten a little bit of a lackadaisical sort of a thing lately of like, money, so what? And while you don't want to be obsessed with money, and you don't want to constantly worry about it, this is a time where you do want to be smart about it. So they have that phrase, "Will build it and they will come." Well, you know what, sometimes you can also you can build the parts that don't cost anything, let them come, and then spend the money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, really, really be smart here, okay? Just feel like it's time to put the brakes on a little bit. If you've been putting yourself out there financially, or just not really paying as close of attention as you could have, it may really be time to put the brakes on that. Okay, we got one more card here. Yeah, and you've got the Five of Pentacles. So this is not a bad thing, but it is saying, hey, listen, the pages just bring a message. They don't do anything. They bring you a message, and the message is like, hey, it's time to kind of just back it off a little bit. Take a look and check all. This could even be just to check all of your bank accounts, check your 401, check all your passwords on things. Maybe it's time to just kind of lock everything down again. We have those data breaches that happen all the time. Really important. Just check your finances, check your passwords. Maybe it's time to change those. Just everything that pertains to your finances. This can also be your environment. This can be, are you getting too much clutter in your environment? Because Pentacles are your tangible stuff you can touch. Are you accumulating things that you don't need? Maybe it's time to just hold on to the things you do need and let go of the things that you don't. When I see this Five of Pentacles, though, it's saying, listen, you want to be smart. You want to be smart. You don't want to put yourself in a position where through your own fault, you're just kind of locked out, in the cold, and unable to participate or do the things you want to do because maybe you spent too much money and now you got to stay home, kind of thing. So really important that you don't put yourself into a position that you are uncomfortable with. So if you've been out losing your marbles, spending a little bit more money than you should, stop doing that. I've gotten this like 4 times. Maybe it's for me. I don't know. I think all of us Aquarians are we're in that place. So, all right, and we'll head to our Pisces. Pisces, you've got the Knight of Swords and the King of Wands. Wow. Okay, Pisces. So it looks like here that you're getting kind of an indication that it's time to really fully engage the brain, engage your intellectual thought. Being a water sign, it's very common that you just kind of you can get very, very, very emotional, and it almost can sometimes, when I see this King of Wands, this is somebody that gets things done. and makes things happen, follows their passion, doesn't take no for an answer. And I wonder if when we see these together for the Pisces, it's saying, you know, it's time to kind of get onto that intellectual, get into the intellectual plane, because nights bring energy, and this is mental agility, mental acuity, the ability to handle a large thought process, you know, to deal with any kind of problem or issue that's arisen. But, you know, when you see this King of Wands, it's also like you have to do something to make that happen. So I think rather than getting stuck in the emotional kind of a cycle that it's very common, especially for a lot of the water signs are that way. It's easy to get stuck in kind of an emotional cycle where we don't do anything. This is saying, listen, you need to break out of that, get your intellect in order, like make sure that you're really emotionally and mentally strong and you're coming from a place of being stable. It's important to get yourself in order there, and then get to a place of action where it's time for you to follow. It could be like, it could even be like if you have a business that you want to start, you know, follow your passion, but whatever it is, there's something that needs to be done in your life, something that needs to be completed, and it's going to require not only mental abilities and mental decision making, but a lot of action. But the good thing is that you know, with the King, you get there. You get there. So let's see. Let's get a little more information here. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so you have every sign but the Cups, and the Cups are your emotion signs. The Queen of Pentacles, she is very logical. She is very organized. She has, you know, if it's a female energy. It doesn't have to be for a female only, but like she's the kind of person who her home is neat, her finances are under control. If she's at work, her environment is neat and clean, her work is done, like she is on it. I think it's just saying it's time to kind of collect yourself, you know, because all of these are really far up into the suits as well. So it's like not like you're working at it. It's like, okay, you have the ability to do all this stuff, it's time to do it. I feel like you need to snap out of like this circling of the drain is what I'm seeing. This like, woe is me, oh no, this isn't good. You kind of snap out of that intellectually, get stuff done knowing you can do it, and then, you know, use the skills you have at being really organized and really together to kind of accomplish this whole thing. It just seems like, I feel like you've just been really kind of through it and you think I don't have anything left, but you do. You have everything left. Especially you have everything left to save, so, and everything to gain. So really try to methodically, that's the thing too, is that she's very methodical about the way she goes about things. So you can be methodical, intellectual, and you can still light a fire under it and kind of get it done. But watch your moon and rising, because that may give you a little bit more indication as well as to what you're looking toward and what you're looking for, you know, as far as this goes. So, all right, I will let you all go. Thank you so much for watching.